And we're up to the characteristics of God, and we are up to faithfulness in the manuals for teachers. You got the blue book, that's page 15 in the manual for teachers. Do you want to read? You want me to read?
Sure, I'll read.
All right.
The extent of the teacher of God's faithfulness is the measure of his advancement in the curriculum. Does he still select some aspects of his life to bring to his learning while keeping others apart? If so, his advancement is limited and his trust not yet firmly established. Faithfulness is the teacher of God's trust in the Word of God, to set all things right, not some, but all. Generally, his faithfulness begins by resting on just some problems, remaining carefully limited for a time. To give up all problems, the answer is to reverse the thinking of the world entirely. And that alone is faithfulness. Nothing but that really deserves the name. Yet each degree, however small, is worth achieving. Readiness, as the text notes, is not mastery.
That's good. To give up all problems to one answer is to reverse the thinking of the world entirely.
Entirely.
And so not just some problems, but all problems. And I mean, that makes sense to me, because it's easy for me. I mean, it's actually easy. It's so easy to do these lessons that we're in. We're doing these lessons, and I'll get into them, and we'll talk about it, and then it's easy for me to get wrapped up in my day and the problems that are problems, right? Like, oh well, yeah, it's great to be at peace and have a great spiritual lesson, and you trust God, but now that I'm in the real world, I'm gonna stress out about making money, or I'm gonna stress out about this family member who's freaking out, and I'm gonna stress out about life and death instead, because whatever, my family member got hurt, or I got sick, and I'll have these compartments of life that, okay, these spiritual principles apply to everything, but this one I'm going to keep. This stress about money, or worried about my family, or whatever, right? I'll take it back. I'll take it back, and then I'll try to accomplish the solution instead of trusting God. Instead of like faithfulness for everything, that all things are perfect, that I do not know my own best interest. There's nothing wrong with going for what I want, and I don't know my best interest. The outcomes could be anything. How am I supposed to know it's a good outcome? Nothing wrong with trying to get a particular outcome, but my attachment on any outcome is what brings my suffering. And hey, Sue.
Hi.
Hey,
Sorry,
good
I'm
morning.
late.
That's right. You missed all the good parts, man.
Lord.
That's some good stuff. Don't worry though, I recorded it, so if you're lucky, I'll send you the link. So anyway, what do you think so far?
Yeah, it's pretty enlightened stuff right there.
Wacky?
Because, you know, it's all this, trying to interpret this stuff and then use it in your daily activities. That's the tough part, especially this, faithfulness is tricky, right?
Yeah, it could be. That's the thing, is it can be tricky or it can be
Well,
easy. And who's the one that makes it easy or tricky? Me. You seem like a pretty easygoing guy, Brian. So maybe you got this down. And
On the
uh,
outside, I got it down. On the inside, not so much. Right?
yeah,
They would say fake it till you make it, right?
I think it's interesting though. We go through these different waves of assimilation, and uh, I had similar troubles even when I was a teenager and 20s and 30s and all throughout my life. But it's getting as I'm getting older, I'm going to be 50 here in just a week or so.
Ooh, 50. Damn.
Yeah, it's aged, but I'm just so incredibly wise and handsome.
That's the handsomeness. That's what it is.
And being so handsome, it really helps with the wisdom. But it seems like my problems they're not as deep. I definitely stress the heck out about stupid stuff all the time, but I'm able to catch myself and let it go when I'm aware of it. And that's amazing. It really is. I'm able to catch this thing of my wanting my life different and seeing the fallacy or the lie that I don't really want my life different. I'm able to envision the life different that I think I want and see that it's going to be exactly like it is now. There's no difference. It's just my idea of all my judgment of all the things in it. That would be different. And then that would be just a different story I'm telling myself. And that life would be exactly the same. Exactly the same. And so the only thing really that's going to bring the fulfillment and the contentment and the peace that I want is really the faithfulness, like this message is saying, the faithfulness to do the work. And the only work there is to do is letting go of my judgments, letting go of my resistance to how things are and my struggle to make them different. And also just seeing there's nothing wrong with struggle. While we're in a body, we have to struggle. It's actually the point that keeps you in our apparent existence. It's the struggle. It really is. The whole thing is built on struggle. But I don't have to suffer while I struggle. That's the interesting tidbit. And then what's even more interesting is even if I do suffer when I struggle, it's all part of the same game. It's not me suffering. I can watch myself suffer, and the one that's watching isn't suffering. It's like, wow, look at that guy. He's really letting himself have it. As I say to myself, as I narrate my Jevon movie. And the
This
weird
week's
thing is,
episode.
I know, the weird thing is, I wouldn't want no suffering in my movie. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants a non-suffering movie or a non-challenge movie. It makes it suck. It's a sucky movie.
When you're writing the screenplay, you got to have your upswing and your downswing,
I
and
need
your up.
it. Yeah.
That's how the movie goes, right?
I wrote this novel and I didn't write in a bad guy. I didn't write in a antagonist. And it was the biggest mistake of the book. And it was so sad because it was therapeutic. I usually I do this a lot. I write fiction. I've been doing it for years. And
The
it's very
captain.
therapeutic for me just because all the characters are me, you know. And so I'm like, well, maybe Brian will read it.
I'll read it. Yeah.
I'll have one reader, but this is my love. This is my years of my life invested just for Brian.
The captain was fantastic.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh
I
yeah.
love-
So the captain didn't have a bad guy, and it would have been a lot better if I would have put a bad guy in there. Because it makes it a better story.
Gotta have a little drama. Everybody's got to have a little drama in their life, right?
Gotta have a
That's
little trouble.
See, that's why I'm single, man. No drama. And so,
I know. Sue too, man. Should have fire all those fools that have all that drama. Get out of here. And there's nothing wrong with that too, because there is a lot of drama. And my drama often clashes with other people's drama. My drama sees their drama so fast. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with your drama. I do not need this. And I might frame it like I don't have the capacity, or I might frame it like your drama is worse than my drama. I mean, either way, I suffer from it because it's drama to think that other people's drama is unsufferable. I can't do it, or insufferable. It's silly to think that, and that's that's when in a marriage when people's lives come together and they're fighting about the misplacement of a toothbrush on the counter. This is not where it goes. I've been doing this for 25 years. This is where well, I've been doing this for 35 years, and you have these controversies about things that they're just silly, but it's not silly to the drama, judging the drama. Oh man, this is, it's an inferno of rage from within that cannot be held back. I will destroy you. And it comes from some, things as simple as the toothbrush is in the wrong space, and then you forget why it started because now it's just disrespect and someone's attacking you. And I mean, on and on it goes. And so here
he
I
did it on
am.
purpose, obviously, just to piss me off, right? So
Yeah, so now you're attacking me, and now we're fighting. I don't even remember why it started, but I know that you're attacking me, and I'm going to either defend myself or attack back and neutralize you. I'm sorry, but you
I'm
have
going
to
to
be.
show you how right I am and how wrong you are.
That's right,
Right.
and you're probably right. So what do you do with that? Well, in this context, it's all a gift, and so my mom, for example, uh, she's flailing in life. She's been flailing for my whole life since she was a kid. She flails, and she has a lot of great aspects. She's been charming and pretty her whole life. Oh, and she's older now, and she's beat herself up, so she's less charming and less pretty, but she's still persistent, and she she just gets other people to do things for her that uh, you would think, or I would think, you have the capacity. She has the capacity to do herself, and so reaching out, and I have this judgment of do this for yourself, do it for yourself. Go down the street and get your own thing. I'm in another part of the country. I can't do that for you. Or move, but you are all bent out of shape about staying where you are. And so anyway, I got bent out of shape and angry and flustered and of this person that's taking advantage of me. Is there another perspective that can help me be more peaceful? I'm sure there's a lot of them, lots of perspectives. But why do I hold on to this one persistently my whole life that I suffer from? I don't know. I'm crazy. I guess I'm crazy like the rest of us. How
Yeah,
long
man.
will I hold on to it? Well, I could let it go right now. It doesn't take a long time. And that's what atonement is the recognition that the work is already done. There's no need to hold on to any of it. And even in a deeper level, Jevon can still have his habit of getting mad at his mom for her lack of respect or lack of consideration for anybody, and he can let it go, and he can help her or not help her. Actually, it's either way. But I don't have to be that frustration.
Right. And you get manipulated, by somebody who knows how to press your buttons. And my
I
mom
don't
was the
have to
same way.
associate with the manipulation. Yeah.
So I grew up, my mom was manic depressive, so my whole life.
Yeah.
So growing up with that in a household, I used to walk into a room on eggshells every day, not knowing if I'm going to get hugged or get hit
Yeah.
or what's going to happen to me. So imagine you're getting, like just a kid all the way up through the high school, going through your whole life like that.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you handle emotions and how do you handle
You stuff it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I never talked to anybody because everybody write me, you're a nice guy, Brian, but you never talk. So I just didn't, I was just afraid of what was going to happen if I opened my mouth because if I
Yeah.
said the wrong thing to my mom, I just like would get beat down, you know? So stuff like that, you know, you tend to over time, you know, it's just like you can't control things. So you just don't do anything about it. And then when I finally got old enough to handle myself and do all that, I just cut her out of my life, period. I didn't talk to her the past, you know, 15 years of her life.
Oh,
And
you
she never,
didn't?
no, and she never knew I had a daughter either. So,
Wow.
no, because I couldn't deal with that. And I know she'd cause problems for me if I did let her come back into my life.
Yeah. So all these people, my lack of forgiveness, and I could tell there's a lack of forgiveness because it bothers me, right? So
Hmm.
even with your mom and what she gave, these gifts of irritants and lack of peace and what you're air quoting.
Gifts
Yeah,
of
these gifts. Yeah, and they're gifts. And why are they gifts? Well, they're gifts because they're revealing they're revealing errors within me. And what is the error? Well, the error is the belief in separation from something, separation from freedom, separation from self-worth, separation from safety, separation from abundance, all these ideas. You learned as a kid that you can't talk, you can't share freely. And that shapes you even today. You know, it's like, don't want to be overly, you could tell by people's strengths that all their greatest weaknesses. And you're, I mean, Brian, you're one of the most gentle, kind, uh, considerate guys I know. You know, that's your appearance, how you present yourself, and my experience of you. But if that's your greatest strength, I think it is how can it be your greatest weakness? Well, if you look at the opposite side of that, then it's hard for you to push for something that you want. You're not going to do anything that might upset somebody or even think you might upset somebody. And so all these things that you think you might want, you don't go for aggressively, or, you know, and so then you end up having some other kind of suffering of not fighting for something, that a goal that you have. I'm just making that up though. That's like the other side of it, right? There's
Well, yeah.
everything has two sides and everything has lessons.
Well, I think it translated to my professional career too. I just wanted to do the thing that was the, you know, easiest to do and, you know, work for somebody else and, you know, just make,
Mhm.
you know, X amount of money and be safe and be, you know, just be secure. But, you know, I think I forgave my mom, yeah, you know, 10 years ago, you know, she'd already passed away by then, but, um, and I got into real estate and I started working on a commission and I don't have the security and safety of a paycheck like I had before,
Yeah.
but I have the freedom to do what I want to do and follow my heart and do like these projects and be on these, um, you know, volunteer and do all these other things, great things that help other people that I've always felt like I needed to be doing, and now I can do that. So,
Yeah. It's great.
so yeah, no, I think it was holding me back for a long time. You know,
So what do we do with this stuff? We're not going to get away from it. That's the point. And that's one of the things that actually gives me some peace is in my suffering, changing my environment and changing the people out and changing my job and changing
yeah,
whatever. It's
you're
not,
the most recent example of that, right?
yeah, it's not the solution. I was actually just thinking, because I was like, man, I don't, for so long, I was like, I don't want to work for Bob. You know, it's a misalignment of ideologies and I can do so much better. And um, so now I resigned, I quit, and here I am doing the thing. And uh it's crazy. I'm making it work, but man, it's a lot more work at the beginning here anyway. And I'm like, is this better? Is this better than I had before? I guess I have the freedom now, but now I have the freedom to work myself to death to try to make it work. And I'm like thinking back, maybe it wasn't so bad working for Bob. And on it goes, right? It's better back then. I wish it was better now. I can't wait to get to the next thing, and on, right? All of my judgments that beat me up. All right. 2, truth.
True faithfulness, however, does not deviate. Being consistent, it is wholly honest. Being unswerving, it is full of trust. Being based on fearlessness, it is gentle. Being certain, it is joyous. And being confident, it is tolerant. Faithfulness then combines in itself the other attributes of God's teachers. It implies acceptance of the Word of God and his definition of his Son. It is to them that the faithfulness, in the true sense, is always directed. For them, it looks seeking until it finds. Defenselessness attends it naturally, and joy is its condition. And having found it, rests in quiet certainty on that alone to which all faithfulness is due.
Yep. Certain. And so you're able to look on the world and see heaven instead of looking on the world and seeing separation and hell. Really, that's the key definition between heaven and hell. Is one's separate and one's connected and with God. Christ's vision versus my vision. Is this the world I created, or is this the world that Christ sees? One's called the real world. The real world that we can see right now is not the real world, but it's just the I guess the positive version. And no, it's going to be okay. No one is going to be okay. I remember I was from California. I'm from California, but then I would move out to Missouri a few times in my life. I moved out there for different reasons. And when I was younger, especially, I would say college years, I moved out to Missouri, and I thought I was so much better than everybody because I'm from California and all these backwards Missouri people. So I had this idea, and I would walk around, I'm a California guy, way better than all these backwards hillbillies. And whether people would talk to me or not, I felt like good about myself because of this perspective. Now I was feeling better about myself as a comparison of the hillbillies around me, right? And it was a judgment that still made me alone, but my perspective and my experience was that of kind of like better, and it made me feel good. But then I would go. So then I was living in Central California, but then I moved from Central California to Orange County to Laguna Beach, and now I'm walking around like, oh my gosh, I'm the hillbilly. Now I'm the hillbilly. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're from Fresno, from Bakersfield, the armpit of the California, So I didn't feel so good. And so my perspective was solely based on a comparison, a superficial comparison. But in some degree, I could have done the same thing and feel good everywhere. As in, like, there's a thing that determines my ability to feel good, and it has nothing to do with what I'm looking around and seeing. And that's what I was doing in Missouri. It's like my thing has nothing to do with any of this. Like, it doesn't matter how you treat me. I know who I am. I know I'm content and good and perfect. Now, I was thinking better than you, right? Which doesn't work. but at the same time, what was that?
That's different from perfect.
Yeah. But I can do that same kind of thing. Be walking around in this world and be like, oh yes, I'm not from here. This is not where I get my identity. I'm not a Missourian, so to speak. I'm not an earthling. I'm not a human. I'm not in a body. I'm an eternal being. So even if I don't go all the way back to causation and the oneness, even I just go back to, let's say, my soul, right? That has still an identity. It's like, I'm not a body. I'm eternal. I'm gonna live forever. I don't have to be afraid of death. I chose this experience, and I wanted this experience. I wanted this exact experience right now. What did I want it for? How is this helpful? How is this a blessing? How is this a gift? And then if I'm in that while I'm in my trouble, it makes it really light, because there's no boulder I have to push up the hill. There's no unpushable boulder that I have to push up the hill. It makes it even worse. It's not like it's a doable boulder.
Wait, it is or it isn't a doable boulder?
Well, if it is a doable boulder and you're enjoying it, that's fine. If it isn't a pushable boulder and you're enjoying it, it's fine. But usually when I feel like I have an unpushable boulder and it's my job to push it up the hill, usually that's when I stress out and freak out. And so the reality is, either way, it's fine. But is my perspective of, I can't do what I need to do, I can't get where I need to go, I can't have what I need to have, I can't change who I need to change. Resistance, I'm resisting everything. What's my story that I can tell myself that I can stop resisting? I can keep doing. I don't think we're going to stop doing. I mean, you could go sit in a cave, but even then, you're still stopping your mind, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Here we are. We're in the advanced, you think of these gurus in the cave in the Himalayas, advanced teachers, advanced spiritual adepts. But here we are, we're doing that. This is it. We're doing the same work of releasing those judgments one at a time. They're just ideas. Let that idea just float down the river. Man, you guys are so advanced.
We're in our 3 separate caves right here, doing our work.
Doing the work, man. You're so amazing.
Well, I heard this comedian the other day. Is Rupert Murdoch? Is that a politician or a?
He's a television mogul. He owns like Fox News and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. So then I have the name wrong. There's somebody else that was a meditation teacher that this comedian was quoting, and talking about how there is no person that can ever get enlightened. There is no such thing as enlightenment for a person, because if you believe you're a person, then that's already a form of separation. And right, so all we can do is let go of the person and pop into that state of enlightenment. Like, we can taste them at moments at a time. But if you ever come to a thought like, oh, does this mean I am enlightened? Then you're already out of it. It's just like the flow state, right? Like that they talk about in sports. It's if you ever, I heard this is also a way to really mess with somebody. If you're in a tennis match or something and that person is like constantly winning, if you were to like say to them, wow, how are you doing that? You're doing so great. How are you doing that? That's a way to mess with the person's mind.
Not come into the details.
Exactly. And getting them into this.
Man, that's good.
Yeah. So it's really twisted, but yeah, like that's, so I feel like this is the same thing as I don't know, that really landed for me. I'm sure we've talked about it before, but the way that it's so funny how we listen to and hear the same thing over and over again, but it still lands differently. And I feel like this analogy, this particular way that it was said, really landed for me. That
Yeah, that's really good.
and it's such an easy way to catch yourself if you're, because like you've mentioned quite a few times, Jevon, it's the ego is very, very sneaky, and it'll hijack or try to hijack and um, get credit for just about anything, right? And yeah, I think it's really helpful to remember that, oh, if there's any time when we are feeling like, oh, I am doing so good, I am getting enlightened, I am whatever, then that's a good indication, I think, to be able to, I think when we practice the going into observer mode in those happy moments, that builds the muscle for being able to catch us when we're doing the same thing, getting sucked into negative stories too.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm getting enlightened is the same thing as I'm better than you in Missouri.
Yeah.
It's, you think about it that way, like, well, no. Let's say you're in Laguna, you're visiting from Laguna Beach and you see me in Missouri, you're like, no, sorry, bro, you're still a dark. You're still a loser. Doesn't matter where you are. And then I'm like, oh, and I could, but yeah, you're right. It's the person. The person is the infinite creator wearing the mask of separation. And if I think I'm the mask, that's where all my problems come from.
Well, you were talking about before, like, do people join those different volunteer groups for networking, things like that? But a lot of them join it for recognition too, because they want to do the work, but they want to be pointed out for it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you're doing things of service. It's not necessarily so you can be recognized. It's so the good works can be accomplished, right? No matter who does it, right? And I do so many things I don't get recognized for, and it doesn't bother me because we're doing it for all the greater good, right? We're doing it to help these kids.
Doesn't bother me.
But then sometimes, though, it's like I think, well, I did do that. But
Yeah.
nobody's paying attention to the fact that I did that, right?
Oh yeah.
That's the ego coming up saying, "Hey, I need credit for this." To
Yeah.
kind of like Sue was saying, we do these things and we jump out of ourselves and say, "Hey, I did that."
It's because you think you're a person.
Right.
If you think you're a person getting enlightened, well, you have solidified the separation. If you think you're a person that's lost, you have solidified the separation. If you think you're a person that needs to be recognized, I had the title of president in my last company, and now I'm a sales rep, and my office is in the storage closet. I'm like, oh man, I was telling Carolyn, my wife, I'm like, this is really bad for my ego. My ego's having a hard time with this. It's like, isn't this what you wanted? I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't look as good.
The business card isn't the same, right?
I know, my business card looks worse. My conversations with people aren't as good because I can't be better than them. It's horrible. Were you going to say something else, Sue?
I don't remember.
Dang it. It's probably good.
Maybe something to do with because I feel your pain, Brian, because there's a part of me that really wants to just be completely self-sufficient and not need anything from anybody, right? And part of that, I think, that's kind of what I'm hearing when you say, I'm doing all these things and I'm not getting recognized. I don't need to be recognized, but it kind of feels nice to be recognized. That's kind of the way that I tend to go around, like social, I think they call them social needs, like socialization needs. Like like humans being social creatures, whatever they we have needs that we can't meet by ourselves. This thing is bullshit. But so
Right.
so yeah, as much as I don't know, on this level, I want what's helped for me, I think, is trying to find where I am not validating myself, kind of a thing, which I don't know if my therapist would approve of this method. But whenever I'm feeling like, oh, that person is getting, I know that that person only did like a fraction of what I did, and they're getting so much praise for it. And it's not fair, right? Like, I need to get, and then recognizing that, I don't know, reminding myself somehow that yes, or finding using that and using that to see what my needs are better, maybe. I just want to point, I think I'm just trying to point out the danger of spiritual bypassing, like, because yeah, we are in, I mean, I don't know, Jim. You said something about not being in a body, but I always thought we are in a body, but our body is not us, was the way that I was trying to. But would you say that, or are we just kind of talking the same thing in semantics?
Well, I mean, it's all semantics, for sure, because this is not happening in ultimate reality. But in my mind, my picture, there's a difference, because if you think you're in the body but you aren't the body, it's a small self that could fit in a body. It's a smaller game.
Right. Like and I thought that's kind of how our brains and everything is. Like that's why when we take psychedelics, which kind of dissolve those limitations, the blocks, then we feel more expansive. So, and you hear of NDEs where people are like, I was close to the light and then it was so painful having to get squeezed back into the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I mean, it might be semantics for sure, but my story that I like is slightly different, and it is, your body is in you, not you are in your body. And that the reason that you think you're in a body is that you have fragmented part of your consciousness. It's like the consciousness itself is like a giant plate of glass, a giant mirror that got shattered into tiny fragments. And one little fragment you have, because you're ultimately skillful in every way, unimaginably powerful and skillful, because your one thought created the universe and all the universes just from a thought. Just from the thought, I wonder what it would be like. And so you're unimaginable powerful, and you're so powerful you can figure out how to isolate your own consciousness so that one of the fragments of yourself cannot remember its other fragments, so that you can have the experience of being separate. And so here you are as a fragment, one of those fragments, and that fragment did the same thing, the fractal of, wow, I'm separate, what it would be like to be a part of a separate thing. And that fragment makes a body and makes a world and makes a, and so then here we are, that fragment, we're actually in the fragment. The body and the world is in the fragment, not the fragment in the body. And so the only thing that's been isolated is your awareness. You have lowered your resonance so that you can forget everything except for what your senses see. It's an incredible amount of control. And so the power that you are exerting, the real you, is unimaginable to be able to isolate your power. Like the power to hold back your own power, to think that you're only seeing from your eyes, is unimaginable. We can't imagine it. That's how powerful you are. It's incredible how powerful you are. but you are not the thing that you think you are. You are the thing that you wanted to experience in the separateness, but it's in you. It's not in a body. That's how I see it. Is that different than what you said?
It might be.
It's more freeing for me. It's just a picture, right? Whatever. But it points to this is going to do what it does. And it's also okay, whatever it does, because I am completely separate. That's why I can be all these characteristics. That's why I am actually already trusting. I already trust God. The character may never trust God, because what if my script is I'm always going to not trust? I'm going to freak the fuck out about everything. I'm that sketchy guy in the movie that's always like fidgety. Great. I guess this is what I wanted this time. But here I am, faithful, patient, defenseless. And I'm defenseless because there's nothing to defend. Well, how could there be nothing to defend except that I'm not this stuff that's going to get harmed? That's the only way that can be true. And then if I relate to that which I truly am, not the body, but I relate to the thing that the body is in. It's like everything is that makes this thing that I think is real, the stuff that makes it exist, or at least the possibility of apparent existence. Because remember, even existence means separate from, which is a mind bender. If I am that, there's nothing that can happen. In fact, everything can go perfect and I haven't changed. And everything can go the worst possible way and I haven't changed. And so now everything's perfect as it is. It's what it is. Who cares? It's the movie. And it's all in me. All in me. And that's what atonement is, right? I'm already there. It's a recognition of I'm already there. And I can't, and maybe my enlightenment isn't going to change all the things that I judge. Maybe none of that's going to change ever, which can be very disheartening.
That's exactly what we're talking about, that it will never change, because that part of us that wants it to change will never be changed.
Is the
It will
person.
never get enlightened. Yeah, that's the person that will never get enlightened.
So disheartening, right? Like, fuck. I thought I was going to figure this out.
When you're talking about the movie, take that a step further to when we go to sleep at night, we enter the dream world, right? That's a whole nother reality that we're in. We think it's real when we're dreaming, right? And it's a whole nother world and set of outcomes and things that, we have no control over, that we're, in another state. So who's to say that what we're doing right now isn't part of that whole situation, right?
Who's to say?
We're in another dream right now. And
Feels
then we
really
go to
real.
sleep.
Feels real.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, who's
Exactly.
to say? I
Because
mean,
I'm dreaming, but all these things happen that I have no knowledge of any of these words or things that other people are saying in my dream. And I'm like, how would I ever have thought of that? I have no knowledge of these things, but yet they're happening in my dreams that are created by me.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Elon Musk he said quite a few times, like, the probability that this is base reality. I think he calls it base reality. Like not a he doesn't call it a hallucination or a dream. He calls it a simulation. The probability that this is a simulation. He's like, I'd say 99%.
Well, it's like the Sims video game.
A dream.
You get the computer game, The Sims, right?
Yeah.
So kind of like another version of The Sims, right? That's
totally.
What we're doing.
It's a really good one, because we're so incredibly awesome that we created our own video game for ourselves to play.
Go get my newspaper, go to my kitchen.
Yeah. And you know what the most popular games out there? They're running around killing each other and stealing stuff and conquering, and
Warcraft.
they're not they're not, all these popular games are not creating the hug game where people go and hug each other. They don't do that. They want the drama. That's what we like it. We like it. But I judge it if it's real drama. If it's my mom, video games, it's cool.
That's the realist drama, yeah.
Mom, nope. My work, nope, no drama. So then I'll define what's okay and not okay, and then suffer when it doesn't fall into my ego's psychotic changing whims. Oh my gosh.
Wow. I feel like I've opened another chamber in my mind.
We just did it, guys. We just did it. We're going to be the first people who ever have personalities that get enlightened.
We'll be on the other side of the fence when we wake up.
So it's so nice to be
Wasn't
better.
that so much fun? Oh, it was great. Yeah. And you were Sue, and yeah, and you were Jevon. Yeah.
That's right.
That was so funny. You're so funny. you and your Carolyn stories. They're so funny.
I know. It's gonna be great. So excited. Well, all right. We're gonna go about your day. Trust God.
Looking forward to open-mindedness next time.
Sounds good.
God bless you. Thanks for meeting with me today, y'all.
You as well.
Yeah. Namaste. Thank you for hosting.
Namaste.
See you guys. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.